January marks the 53rd anniversary of National Blood Donor Month, which is a time to recognize the importance of giving blood and platelets while celebrating the life-saving impact of those who roll up the sleeves to help patients in need. Now, winter tends to be one of the most difficult times to collect enough blood and some products to meet patients' needs, but we've got with us the manager of special events projects at New York Blood Center, Christine Foran, and we thank you so much for being with us. And Christine, glad to have you.
Thank you so much for having me today. Greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, and I greatly appreciate you being with us here at a very special time. I mean, uh, anytime that we can get blood is a great time, but really around this time of year, talk to us about where we are with blood donations.
That's a great point. You're right, because blood is actually needed 365 days a year. So we do need blood every single day, but January is National Blood Donor Month. Typically, donations in January are a little less. Schools have been, people are coming off the holidays, schools are just coming back together. National Blood Donor Month was created back by President Richard Nixon. So that long ago, it's been around to help promote the awareness of blood, especially during the month of January and all year long, and to recognize the importance of blood donors to our country.
Yeah. Nixon, that wasn't too long ago. I just want you to know, it wasn't too long ago.
I was alive. I was alive.
Yeah, but let me talk to you about blood donation centers, because what are you seeing at your centers right now? What was 2022 like for you, and what are you hoping to happen this year?
Well, donations have definitely not fully recovered since the pandemic. That's a fact. Prior to the pandemic, people would donate in their place of business, in their, where they worship, in their school. And, school blood donations weren't fully back. People are now working hybrid. So that traditional source of blood donations has definitely been impacted. We're thankful. We have donor centers all across the area, and they're so easy to find. They're permanent donor centers that are set up, and people can go in and make an appointment and donate there. So there's always a place that you can donate. But right now, we only have about a 2 to 3 day supply of types and only about a 1 to 2 day supply of type O negative. Type O negative is the universal donor that can go to anybody. So it's really important for our hospitals to have that on staff. So we need all people to come in and donate blood wherever they can find a blood drive. And it's not that difficult. All they have to do is go to nybc.org, which is short for newyorkbloodcenter.org, and click on the donate blood tab, and they can find a blood drive near them.
I'm going to put myself on blast here because I just thought about the fact
Sure.
that I don't really remember exactly what my blood type is. And I think that's a story for a lot of people. But talk to us about the importance of knowing your blood type and what should a person know before entering that donor center about their blood type.
Well, I tell you what, they can come into the blood donor center not knowing their blood type. That's absolutely fine. We'll still take you. We'll still take a blood donation from you. If you do know your type, and you know that you're a type O positive, or one of the negative types, and if you're at a certain size and weight, we might ask you to donate double red cells, because that way we'll get the red cells. Certain blood types we do want to be platelet donors or plasma donors. However, if you don't know your blood type, that's fine. Come on in. We'll still take a blood donation from you. And the good thing is you will find out your blood type after you donate. We're going to send you a donor card, and it'll have your blood type on it. So you'll be set going forward.
So when we talk about who exactly can donate blood, I know there are some people who are qualified, and then there are also some people who may not be qualified. Let's talk about who's qualified, who's not qualified.
Sure. 60% of the population is qualified to give blood. So most of the people that you see walking around are eligible to give blood. You need to be at least 17 years old to 76. And 16-year-olds can donate blood too, as long as they have parental consent. You need to be at least 110 pounds. You need to be feeling well and healthy. If you're suffering from a cold or something like that, get better first and then come on in and give blood. Most medications, people can still donate blood, even high blood pressure, diabetes. That doesn't stop somebody from giving blood. And a lot of times people will say, oh, I can't give blood, I have high blood pressure, and they're not even trying to give blood. But the thing is if they come in that day and their blood pressure is fine, they absolutely can give blood.
And when we talk about those who are donating, I know that there are a specific need when it comes to particular demographics. And when we come to the African American Latino community, I believe that there is an increased need. Can you confirm that? And then also any particular reason why, if so?
Yeah, I actually can. Yes, we're always looking for a diverse blood population. everybody has that ABO type, but then there are certain antigens on your blood that might make it more rare. And certain diseases like sickle cell, that uses a lot of blood, and that's very predominant within the Black community. So we need people to come in, a diverse donor base, and because who knows, they might have those markers that'll really help patients with sickle cell. And sickle cell patients, unfortunately, the only treatment they still have is a blood transfusion, and it's their blood that's attacking them. Red cells are round; they kind of float through the system, but sickle cell, the blood becomes in a sickle shape, and it kind of bounces against each other and doesn't bounce. It kind of stacks against each other, and it doesn't move throughout the body easily. That's what's called sickle cell crisis. So we definitely want to make sure we always have blood on hand for our sickle cell patients.
Yeah. And so at this time of year, you usually get the word out. A lot of people get more involved, take blood donations. But I know there's also drives, and people can sometimes organize drives and get their centers or their churches to really be places where this can happen. How do they go about doing that?
Well, that's easy enough. Once again, if they just go to nybc.org, there's you'll see volunteer opportunities, and one of the volunteer opportunities is to host a blood drive. So what they would do is then give us their name, their contact information, and we'll reach out to them about getting a blood drive set up. We look for blood drives that are going to bring in, minimum of 30 to 40 donations, but we'll take large blood drives up to, we run 500-pint blood drives if the base is there. But we always need blood drives, and that way it gives a chance for people to come in and try to donate for the first time that they might have come in before. People will donate blood if it's convenient. People will donate blood if they have an available situation. So by hosting a blood drive, you could open up a whole new population of people who've never donated blood before.
Yeah. I want to talk about that first time donor. I think somebody's out there and, they have their little apprehension as to maybe it's the needle apprehension, or maybe it's just the fact that I'm going to do this for the very first time and I don't know how much they're going to get out of me. So when you take a donation, talk to us about how much you're taking from a person and where it goes from there.
Well, absolutely. And, that's interesting that you said that about first time blood donors. The number one reason why people don't donate blood is they're not asked, not because they're afraid of needles. It's just because they've never been asked. Most people can get past the needle factor. So when they come in to donate blood, we're gonna go through some screening questions first, which is gonna ask about travel, how they're feeling, just kind of like a mini screening questionnaire. After that, they're then gonna sit down with our donor specialist, who's gonna take their blood pressure, their pulse, their iron, their temperature, making sure that they're all well and good to give blood. Because of course, the safety of our donors is our number one issue. So if everything checks out and they're good to give blood, they're then going to go on to donation. That's approximately a 10-minute process, and in which they're going to give about a pint of blood. So, you can kind of picture like about a pint of milk for a good estimate of how much blood they're going to take. After they donate blood, they then go into everybody's favorite part, juice and cookies, which was what we call our canteen. And we're going to have them sit there for about 10-15 minutes, making sure that they're feeling well and healthy. And then they can go about their day and resume normal business. They can go about and do everything they still planned on doing that day.
Well, Christine, you gave us some helpful information here because obviously for the first-time donor, they want to know that. And I think for those of us that are out there that know a little bit more about it, we'll possibly take that next step. But as we know that this is a Blood Donor Month, and we want to thank you for being with us and sharing.
I thank you so much for having me. It really is important to help get out the word, and anything we can do, we're trying to do. So we so appreciate that you're taking the time to have us on and really spread the good work about, what New York Blood Center tries to do. But most importantly, it's always a patient that's getting that blood. And I just want to remind people, there's somebody on the receiving end of that donation. It's not just, it doesn't just go away to a lab. It actually goes to a patient. You're help saving that patient's life, because one donation can save up to 3 lives.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for sharing. Christine Foran, Manager of Special Events and Projects at the New York Blood Center. Now, for more information, you can visit their website at nybc.org and then follow them on Facebook, Instagram at New York Blood Center. We encourage you, please don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Open coming up right after this.